Theater 5 presents Miss Eileen Heckart in Time of Trouble.
George. Wake up, George. Please, wake up.
What?
Someone's crying for help.
What?
Listen, George.
Oh, for the love of Pete. Will you go to sleep? You're having a bad dream.
Be quiet and listen.
Somebody's having a fight. I don't want to fight.
Will you get out of this bed and look, or shall I?
Well, go ahead if it'll make you happy, but I've got to get some sleep. Joyce, will you turn off that light?
I can't see if I do.
Oh, all right. As long as you're up, I may as well join you. This nice, quiet, exclusive neighborhood which we both work to support, muggings and assaults are forbidden in our lease.
Don't try to be funny. Someone's in trouble. Listen to her. She's terrified.
She's got a good pair of lungs, I'll say that for her. Oh, come on away from that open window. You'll catch cold.
George, look. Come here, down there. Do you see? Near the Ardmore Arms sign, a man is struggling with a woman. Oh, my God, George, he looked up here and saw me.
I'll turn off the lights. All right. Now, point to where you think you see them.
I can't look. I'm going back to bed. Ow. Oh, I hurt myself. George, can you see?
Yes. I'll close the window.
What are you going to do?
Get back into bed. You want me to run down 5 flights of stairs in my bare feet and say, unhand her, you villain, while he stabs me with his knife?
This is awful. Somebody's got to do something.
Oh, honey, don't sweat it. If you hurt her, other people did, too. Well, somebody will do something.
Are you sure? Why don't you call the police?
And get involved in a lot of red tape? Not me. We've got a meeting with the City Planning Commission tomorrow. I can't spend the morning looking at mug shots in a police station.
Did you see him?
Not clearly from this distance. Did you?
Yes. Just barely. He saw me, though. He was in the dark, and I was outlined in the light.
Hey, honey, you're shivering. Come here.
Oh.
Come closer. Come on, honey. I'll hold you tight. There. That's better. Hey, come on. Talk to me. Tell me how things are going in the world of art.
Well, we're going to hang the Stacy show tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Darling, will you just take a peek out and see what's happened?
Joyce, I'm warning you.
Dear God, I knew it. Something terrible has happened. George, let me go. I've got to see.
See what? A morbid scene, blood and gore to give you bad dreams?
Let me go.
Wait. Come away from that window.
There's an ambulance and a squad car. Look at the crowd that's gathering. I've got to know what's happened. Stay! You down there, what's going on?
A woman killed! Woman murdered!
No.
Honey, will you stop it? Sweetheart, you're hysterical. Will you stop it this minute? Do you want to bring that crowd up here? Don't call attention to it.
You hit me.
Well, I had to do something. Now, please, will you listen to me? I'm as sorry as you for what happened to that woman, but it was none of our business.
How can you say that? We might have helped her. What if it had been me?
Well, it wasn't. So don't borrow trouble.
Huh?
What now? Look, I'll get it. You let me take care of this, honey, will you? All right, I'm coming. Yes, officer. What can I do for you?
Sergeant Donaldson, 4th Precinct. My identification. Sorry to bother you, but I'm sure you're up with all the noise around.
We heard the sirens, and we thought it was an accident.
A woman was killed right across the street from me.
Oh, really? Well, gee, I'm sorry to hear that, but we can't help you. The sirens awakened us.
You say the sirens wakened you, but a man across the street says he saw your wife at the window looking down at the time the woman was attacked.
Well, could he tell the time by my wife's face?
No. He said it was stuffy in his bedroom. When he got up to open his window, he saw your wife looking frightened, and he thought she was the one screaming for help. He ran down the stairs to come over here, but then he found the other woman instead, so he called us.
Well, I repeat, we didn't hear anything or see anything until the sirens awakened us. That's when Joyce looked out the window. The man is mistaken.
Look, Mr. Turner, I know how some people feel that these things are none of their business. But if you got a look at the killer, it could save someone else's life. That woman was a mess when we found her. She was just coming home from work. Minding our own business, too, I guess.
Is it your business or our business that the streets aren't safe for decent people?
It's the business of all decent people. But I won't argue the point because it doesn't seem important right now. Oh, you Mrs. Turner?
Come here, Joyce. Sergeant Donaldson says a woman was killed across the street. I just told him that...
I heard you, George.
Well, Mrs. Turner?
I'm sorry, officer.
We're all sorry, ma'am. But it won't catch the killer. Won't you help us?
I can't.
You can't or you won't?
Hey, now, just a minute.
I haven't got the minute. Well, call us if you need us. And if you saw him, you may need us.
Hold on. I won't have you intimidating my wife, scaring her like that.
Your wife is scared, mister. How about it, Mrs. Turner?
Yes, I'm scared.
Good night, officer. I hope you catch him.
You better hope so.
Oh, Uncle.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, I beg yours. Isn't it just awful? You must be the Turners. Well, I'm Lorna James. I'm your neighbor on 3 South. Everyone is saying that you saw it.
They said they didn't see a thing.
But the reporter from the newspaper is interviewing the man who said you did.
Get out.
George. I'm sorry, Mrs. James, but this has been very upsetting.
I know exactly what you mean. Do you mind if I come in and sit a little? I'm so quivery and nervous, being alone, you know.
Sergeant Donaldson.
Good night, ma'am. If you need me, you know where to find me.
Now, what did he mean by that?
Mrs. James, I hate to be rude, but we need our sleep. Joyce and I have to go to work in the morning, so if you will excuse
You
us...
young people, careers and no babies. Now, don't you wait too long. I had Leon the first year and Sally Ann the next. Just what do you do, my dear?
I run the little gallery.
And I'm an architect. Good night, Mrs. James.
Oh, call me Lorna. After this tragedy, we'll all know each other better, won't we? In time of trouble, we must all huddle around the campfire together.
Good night again.
Well, if I'm in the way, of course you know what I think. I think you saw it all.
Why, that nosy witch.
No, she's just an old campfire girl.
A campfire girl with a collection of shrunken heads on her mantel, I'll bet.
Oh, George, I'm so ashamed.
Well, I'm not exactly overjoyed myself. But, honey, it was the only way.
I suppose. I think I'll take a pill.
Oh, what now?
Don't open it.
Go away. We're in bed.
I'm Jack Victor of the Journal. I want to check my story. It'll only take a minute.
Go away. We have no story.
Yeah, but I have, Mrs. Turner. If you won't confirm or deny it, I'll run what I've got, and you won't like it.
Go away. Go away. Go away.
Joyce, go in. Go to bed. I'll handle him.
Like you've handled everything else, George. You made me lie. I can never feel safe again. We didn't help that woman.
All right, I give up. Come in, Mr. Victor.
Thanks.
My wife will give you the story.
I hate to barge in on you folks like this, but I appreciate your cooperation. It won't take a minute. Now, Mrs. Turner, at approximately 1 minute after midnight, you heard someone crying for help, and you got out of bed, and what did you see?
Nothing. I saw nothing.
Well, I was told
You were told incorrectly. I heard nothing. I saw nothing until the sirens awakened us. We were asleep. Now, I can't identify a man I didn't see, can I?
No, Mrs. Turner, you can't. But maybe he can identify you.
Joyce, are you there? I can't get in. Will you please come and take the chain off the door?
you, George?
Well, of course it's me. Who else would it be? Why did you chain the door at this hour? Where have you been? I tried you all afternoon. I called the gallery, and Louise said you left early.
I didn't feel well, so I came home.
Well, come back here. Honey, it's not bedtime yet.
I feel better in bed. Don't answer it!
Well, I can't just let it ring.
It may be him.
Him who?
The man, last night.
Oh, a silly goose. Will you get out of that bed, put on your face and a dress?
I don't want to.
Well, sweetheart, you can't hide in bed forever.
If you had read the newspaper, you wouldn't ever want to show your face again.
For your information, the boys in the office made me a present of the first edition of that yellow rag. They thought it was a large joke, like I'd taken a pratfall. People are funny. You never know how they're going to react.
Listen to a few of the anonymous phone calls like I have, and you'll know.
Oh, I got a few, too. That reporter didn't miss a trick. Listing my firm name, my age. I was surprised he omitted the color of my eyes. Oh, but he did say you were pretty.
Yes, he did. He said the pretty, frightened Mrs. Turner denied seeing the attacker or hearing the victim's cries for help in spite of evidence to the contrary. According
Honey,
to the
it's just a tempest in a teapot. It will blow over. Tomorrow they'll make a shambles of someone else and people will forget about us.
But he won't. He's down there waiting for me right now.
Yes. Well, why didn't you tell me? Where, Joyce? Where did you see him?
Get away from that window! You want him to know that we know!
Well, I'm going to call the police.
No! No, don't you dare. Now listen to me, George. I've been lying here figuring it all out. I'll stay in bed a few days, maybe a week until everything's forgotten. And by that time, he'll feel safe. Afterwards, we'll take a vacation, we'll come back, we'll find another apartment.
We will not. Now, look. We made a mistake in not telling what we saw last night, but it was a human mistake.
Like it was human to let that woman die.
Well, is it human to torture yourself to death? Oh, honey, come on. Get up. We'll confess to the police and we'll purge our souls. Boy, a few more hours like this and I'll admit I'm guilty. Just to get it over with. Darling, up. The very good citizens Turner are going to the police station.
I don't want to go out there. He'll kill me.
Joyce, there's no one out there.
You're lying to me.
Sweetheart, I'm going to call Dr. Morris. He'll give you a shot.
Well, you think I'm out of my head.
I think you're overtired. You're overwrought, that's all. We're both on the ragged edge.
If you call Dr. Morris or that policeman, I'll never talk to you again.
Well, what would you suggest instead? That I join you in bed or under the bed or... No, it won't work.
Don't leave me!
Oh. Good evening, Mrs. James.
I'll just come in for a minute. I wanted to give these cookies to your wife to cheer her up. Why, that reporter wrote like you were to blame.
George!
My wife has a headache, Mrs. James. Thank you for the cookies.
Oh, poor thing. I know all about headaches. Jefferson had so many before he died.
Joyce, what are you doing out of bed?
What are you doing here? Have you come to pry? Or to laugh? Or just to look at the animals in the zoo? Tell her all about it, George. That's what she wants, all the ugly details.
My, you are upset, dear. Give me back my cookies, Mr. Turner. Next thing you know, she'll say I poisoned her.
Oh. I wasn't very nice to that sweet old lady, was I? Why did I do that, George?
Honey, because you're not yourself. Now, look, I'm going to call Sergeant Donaldson right now.
Yes. Please, after those phone calls, it'll be a relief.
Yes. Oh, hello. This is George Turner. I'd like to speak to Sergeant Donaldson. Well, do you expect him? Oh, I see. Well, thank you. Well, will you ask him to call me? I'll give you my number. You have my number. Oh, he was trying to reach us? Well, tell him to try again. We'll be in all evening. Thanks.
Darling, you're right, of course. We have to tell them what we know. But you know, for the life of me, I can't remember what that man looked like.
It'll come back to you when you see the pictures. And if it doesn't, it won't make any difference. Because a moment like that can never be completely recalled.
Yes.
Sweetheart, are you hungry? Huh?
Suddenly, I'm very hungry. Hey, why don't you go out and get us a pizza? I'll wait for the sergeant's call.
All right. But, do you mind being alone?
No, George, I don't mind being alone.
Oh, thank God, honey. I was so worried about you.
So was I. And I had the feeling that it wasn't me, that I was watching someone else perform. I wanted to run away and I couldn't move.
Because you pushed the panic button. It happens to everyone. Honey, are you sure you're all right now?
Yes, a little shaky, but otherwise fine. Now, what shall I tell Sergeant Donaldson?
Tell him the truth. It's the only antidote to fear.
Here.
All right. I won't be long. And you're sure you're all right?
I'm going to dress and mix us a pitcher of martinis. You'll have 10 minutes before the ice starts to melt. Go.
Okay.
Now, a little powder, a little paint to make this woman look less faint. Hello? Who? No, he's not here, but I expect him back shortly. Who's calling, please? Who's calling? Please. No, don't hang up. Operator, get me the police. The 4th precinct. Hurry. Police. May I speak to Sergeant Donaldson, please? I'm Mrs. Turner. He's not there. No one else. It's just that I had an anonymous phone call. My husband will be home any minute. Oh, there he is. He's at the door now. Thank you very much. George! George! Hurry, operator. Give me the number of Mrs. Lorna James. Hurry. Yes. Yes, that's it. Oh, please. Mrs. James, this is Joyce Turner, and I wanted to apologize. Mrs. James, don't hang up. Mrs. James. Whoever you are, I know you're out there. Now you go away. Go away or I'll shoot. I have a gun, and if you force that door open, I'll use it. Help! Help! Help!
Mrs. Turner, no one is going to help you. Stop screaming. You'll disturb your neighbors.
You're going to kill me.
I may or I may not. It depends. I just wanted to see what you look like.
My husband will be back any minute.
Ah, I'd like to meet him, too.
And the police. You know, I haven't told them. And I never will.
You saw the whole thing.
Everything.
How could you watch and not help?
I was frightened. What can a woman do against a man like you?
And your husband?
He protected you. Yes, he did. He said we shouldn't get involved. You owe your life to my husband.
Remind me to thank him. What about the woman, Mrs. Turner? You think she deserved to die?
Well, of course not, but I didn't know her.
So it was none of your business, huh? Well, now that you know her, what do you think?
But I don't know her.
You know her now better than you did 2 days ago. The newspaper accounts.
Oh.
She had a face. She had a name. She had a family.
What difference does that make now?
I want it to make a difference. I want it to be your business.
Joyce, we're coming. I've got Sergeant Donaldson.
He's here. Don't come in. He has a gun.
Stop it, mister. You haven't got a chance.
No, get out or I'll shoot.
Sergeant, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. He's dead. I shot him. He's dead.
You had to, Sergeant. You had to.
I guess so. Was this the man you saw, Mrs. Turner?
Yes, it is. I'll never forget his face.
I don't think you will either. But you didn't see this man.
What?
This man, Mrs. Turner. This man identified his wife's body this morning.
Theater 5 has presented In Time of Trouble, starring Miss Eileen Heckart, written by Lenore Wolfe, directed by Warren Somerville. In the cast, Bernard Grant, Ian Martin, Robert Dryden, Ethel Reaney, and Jack Grimes. Script editor, Jack C. Wilson. Original music by Alexander Vlastotsenko. Orchestra under the direction of Glenn Osser. Executive producer for Theater 5, Mr. Lee Bowman. We invite your comments. Write to Theater 5, New York 23, New York. That's Theater 5, New York 23, New York. This is Fred Foy speaking. This has been an ABC Radio Network production.